Now that we've got an understanding of some of the different update options that are available, I want to go ahead and look into our operating system now. We're going to look at configuring some of it. So I'm going to start with clicking Start here and going to Settings. We'll open up the Settings app, and then from there we'll take a look at Update and Security. So we'll click there. Okay, depending upon what builds you got of Windows 10, you're going to have different options here. This build is a 1903 build. So as you can see, I just recently have checked for updates, and my computer is actually going through the process of trying to install some updates. So it's going to deactivate a few things. For example, normally I could pause updates, but it won't let me pause right now because I've paused recently, and so it won't let me pause for up to 7 days. Okay, but anyway, you can see the updates that it's wanting to pull here. And some of the different options that I got. Now, one thing I want to show you immediately that you're going to want to know for the exam is this thing called active hours. So if you look right here, I've got a thing called active hours I can click on, and from there I can change my active hours if I want. Okay, so the active hours, important thing to know about that is that active hours are not the time period you want updates to be active. Active hours are the time that you are active. Okay, so if I click this, I'm going to be setting the hours that I'm normally doing business on my computer. Okay, so if you normally work on this computer from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., then you're great. You're good. You can just leave it the way you want. If you actually work in the evening and not during the day, you would want to adjust the settings for the evening time. So if I wanted to change this, let's say my active hours are from 7 a.m., just change it to 7, and then I'm going to go to 6 p.m. Maybe those are the time periods that I generally work. You can set this window to a maximum of 18 hours, as you can see. But again, active hours are the hours that I'm working, not the hours that the updates are actually going through. So I'm gonna click Save, and of course now it's going to try to do updates later today, as opposed to trying to do those right now. Okay, so going back over here to Update and Security. I want to look at some of these other settings that I can configure here. All right, so I'll scroll down here. I can look at update history if I want, see the different things that are going on in regards to that. Another thing I want to show you is this thing right here called Advanced Options. I'm going to go there, and I'm going to tell you that because my computer is actually going through the process of getting a feature update right now, I'm missing a couple of things. I don't have the ability to choose my channel right here. Also, I can't pause updates. You know that already. Another thing is there's going to be 2 drop downs that you're normally going to see here when your computer's not going through updates. One is going to be a defer time period for feature updates that'll let me defer feature updates for up to a year. So I can defer feature updates for up to a year. I can drop down a little option here that'll say defer updates for up to a year. Okay, another option is I can defer quality updates for up to 30 days. So you can defer feature updates for up to a year, you can defer quality updates for up to 30 days, and you can pause updates for up to 35 days by default. So you can adjust those settings if you want. Keep in mind to do a lot of that, to set these settings, you do have to be an admin, but once you enable them, if I set the defer period up to a year, then a person can do that for up to a year. If you give that control over them, they can. By default, both of these values are going to be set to 0, which means people cannot defer updates. Okay, they can pause, but they cannot defer. Okay, so this is where these settings will be. Again, my computer right now is going through an update, so you won't see it, but if you open it up on your own computer, you probably will see that you can drop that down. Okay, now the other thing is I want to show you delivery optimization. You can get to delivery optimization by going there, or again, if you are back on the settings app main homepage here, you can get there by clicking delivery, going to update and security, and then clicking the delivery options directly. See how it shows up right here as a button. So I can click that. Okay, currently delivery optimization is turned on. Now, if you remember what I told you, delivery optimization is going to be something that it allows peer-to-peer sharing of updates. So right now that's turned on. My computer will share updates with other computers. Right now it's just my local network, but if I do not want to share updates, maybe I want to share updates with the internet, I could choose the second option here, or if I want to turn this off, I can simply switch it off. Okay, now I'm no longer going to be sharing updates with other computers. Okay, all right. So the next thing I want to show you here is that I can configure WSUS if I wanted. Okay, so we'll jump over to the server and we'll take a look at the concept of WSUS. Okay, so I'm going to jump right here into my server, and here is my server. I'm going to go to Manage, Add Roles and Features, Next, 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 and here these are my different roles my server can perform, and you'll see WSUS is right here. So I could turn that on, select that, add the features, and then I could install this on this server. At that point, I could go out, I could download updates using WSUS, and I could approve those updates to be deployed down to my clients. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to be demonstrating the WSUS stuff right now. That's more of a server thing, but that's the gist of it. I'll also tell you this, though. Client computers don't just magically know if you've installed a WSUS server. You actually have to tell your clients that they need to get updates from WSUS. And I want you to look into how to do that. That's something they want you to be aware of for the test, is that you can assign your client computers to get updates from WSUS. And the way you're going to do that is through a GPO. We've learned about GPOs in the past. We're going to go Tools, Group Policy Management, okay, and then I'm going to create myself a GPO. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom in here, and I'm going to right click, I'm going to say New GPO, I'm going to call it WSUS, and then I need to edit that GPO. So we're just going to edit the GPO, and the policy that you're going to want is going to be located under Computer Configuration, Policies, Administrative Templates, Windows Components. Move this over a little bit, and you'll see if you scroll down, you'll see Windows Update. Now, one thing I want you to be aware of is that there are two policies that have to be turned on in order to implement WSUS, okay, so that your client computers will know to get updates from WSUS. I'm going to zoom in, and here are the two policies that have to be turned on. The first one is called the Configure Automatic Updates policy, and the second is the Specify Intranet Microsoft Update. This policy is going to force automatic updates turned on people's machine, which they're already turned on really by default, but it's also going to let you set a schedule on when you want the updates to get installed on people's machine. The second policy, Specify Intranet Microsoft Update Service Location, this is going to let me pinpoint what my WSUS server's name is. So I'm going to do this first one here. I'm going to double click on it, and we'll go right here. We'll enable it. We're going to choose this option here that says Auto Download and Schedule the Install. And we'll schedule the install for Wednesdays at midnight. So now we're going to get, if you look closely at that, you're going to have Auto Download and Schedule the Install every Wednesday at midnight. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and turn that on. Okay, that's now enabled, but we still have to actually apply this to where the client knows who the WSUS server is. So we're going to double click here on this update. We're going to enable it, and we're going to specify who our WSUS server is. So the way that you do that is you put, if you're doing this with non-encryption, it's http:// and it's going to be the name of your server. So the name of my server might be nyc-wsus.examlabpractice.com : and you got to put the port number. If you're using HTTP, which is non-encrypted, it's going to do 8530 is going to be the port number. If you're doing HTTPS, which requires a certificate but allows you to do encryption, then you would do 8531. So I'm going to put that in, and then for the statistics, you're just going to do the same thing, same exact thing. That's going to be the server that gathers statistics for you when it comes to your WSUS server. Usually people just point to the same server for that, although if you had a hierarchy of WSUS servers, like a parent WSUS server and a bunch of child WSUS servers, you could have the parent collecting statistics for all of them. At that point, I'm going to click OK, and I've now enabled the two required policies for telling clients about WSUS. So then I would close this, and I would link this to whoever I want this to go to. If I want this to go to my computers in New York, I'm going to drag and drop it over to New York, click OK, and this GPO is now assigned to New York. And then the only thing I would need to do there is wait on my clients to refresh. Or if I wanted to jump back over to my client, I could run gpupdate/force. Okay, So even though we're not really looking at how to use WSUS in this class because it's not a server class, we at least can see here how you can tell your Windows 10 clients how to get updates from WSUS. Okay, who they get their updates from. Okay, so hopefully that gives you guys a better understanding of the updates in Windows 10 and how to do some of the configuration of it all.